Today the trekkers are taking you to a landfill where we're going to show you what happens to your trash.
I'm David.
And I'm Alfonso.
And I'm Frank.
And we're Virginia Trekkers. And we're here today in Henrico County at a landfill here in the Piedmont region.
Well, in the back, we see where the Henrico County residents are delivering their 300 tons of trash every day.
And you can see that we've got our hard hats on, so hopefully we can get close to some of this really big equipment. But the most important thing you're going to learn today is why it's important to take care of the trash that you guys produce in your houses every day to keep Henrico nice and clean. So if you're ready to go trekking and talk some trash, let's go!
Trekking!
And if you like trucks and big machinery like the trekkers, then the landfill is the place for you.
All right, this place is huge. I want to follow that truck. Got my hard hat on. Check out how high we're going to be going. We're going to be going way up on the top of this pile to see what's going on up there. And I can guarantee you, it's going to be loud and dirty.
All right, boys and girls, here we are with Steve. He's the head trash guy here at the Henrico facility for all of our waste. So when we talk about getting rid of all our garbage, Steve's the guy. He takes care of it.
Steve showed us all around the landfill and explained the different steps in taking care of your trash. The first step is getting the trash to the landfill.
Going straight to your house. That's a dumpster truck. The truck that you see behind me has come to the landfill to empty out, and it's a dumpster truck. So this may have come from an apartment complex or a business, not regular curbside trash cans like you guys have.
All right, so Frank showed you the blue dump truck that was dumping business trash from a dumpster. This white dump truck is dumping trash from houses in residential areas like where you live. Here's the stuff.
After the trash is dumped in the landfill, they have to pack it down so it doesn't take up so much space.
Behind me, we have a truck compactor. What they're doing is they're taking all the trash and they're bringing it together, and then this big truck weighing 45 tons. It's going over it about 2, 3, or 4 times to pack it down as much as possible.
Check out the wheels. Those aren't regular rubber wheels like you see in regular construction sites. There's a big spike on them. So what that's doing is it's cutting the trash up, breaking it down. That way we can squeeze as much trash as possible in this landfill.
Now y'all see all these seagulls that are flying around? They're here eating the trash. And you may be wondering why they're here. Well, it's winter time now, and they're migratory, so it's harder for them to find food. This is a great place for them to eat all your scraps from your dinner table.
After delivering the trash and packing it all down, the next step is to bury it with dirt.
Now you saw that dump truck just dump a bunch of dirt here. They use that dirt from construction sites. They bring it here and they mix it with all the trash to get rid of the smell and to keep away animals like rats and birds. Although there's still a lot of birds around.
Here we are on top of the trash. Let's take a little bit closer look. We have a plastic jug here. Remember from our recycling podcast, this is something that could have been recycled. We have a milk carton, probably from a school cafeteria, not recyclable because of the glossy paper on it, but certainly could have been reused for a children's engineering project at your school.
And the reason it's important to recycle these items, especially this jug, is because 100 years from now when you come back and you're digging in the landfill, this bottle will still be here. So instead of taking up space in the landfill, recycle it, it turns into a new product. You don't have to fill up the landfill with products that we can be reusing every day.
Recycle.
Once the trash is buried, they have to make sure it stays in place.
Here I am on an excavator. Here at the landfill, the excavator plays an important role. It needs to dig ditches. The reason for this is because we need to have a place for the runoff to go. This helps prevent a lot of the erosion.
So Alfonso showed you the excavator and talked about how it's used to prevent runoff. Well, right here's a perfect example. Here's a ditch that the excavator dug, and what it does is it collects all the water that runs off the landfill that's been covered here, and then it collects the water and ships it over to the other side where Alfonso is.
And with a series of pipes that were going across the road, the end result for all the runoff water is right here in this collection area right behind me.
So we saw how the excavator keeps the trash from going into your water supply. Let's find out how this loader's helping protect the environment as well.
I think I found myself the perfect Christmas tree. The holiday season has just ended here in Henrico County, and people have to get rid of their trees. So instead of dumping them in the woods, they're brought here to the landfill where they're turned into something useful for Henrico County residents. And I think this tree needs a little bit of a decoration. I'm gonna take this one over to Alfonso, and he's gonna show me what happens to it.
Well, listen, what happens now, they're gonna take that tree and they're gonna mulch it up. You can see behind me, we have some fine material that we can put into our gardens, and all this mulch is free to the residents of Henrico County. It's a service that the landfill provides to help get all those extra trees off and back into the yards for healthy plants.
Watch as this loader dumps the mulch. See that? That's not smoke, that's actually steam. So what makes the steam?
Alright, so the mulch pile that you guys see being put into the hopper here is steaming, and the reason it's steaming is because decomposition produces heat. The landfill produces heat as well, and it's decomposition that makes the methane and all that other stuff a byproduct of decomposition.
And here at the landfill, they actually use that methane gas to make something very valuable to you.
Here I am next to a methane gas well, number 39 out of 125 pumps. We're sitting on top of a closed landfill, and what's happening is this pipe is going down to about 10 feet from the bottom. And at this particular landfill, it's about 50-60 feet down. And it's got holes going through the tubes where the methane gas comes, and it's hooked up to a vacuum pump, and it's going to go down to where we're about to go into the generator area.
All right, we just showed you the pump that pumps the methane gas. Well, what they do is they take the methane gas and they send it over here where it's turned into electricity. And you can see some of the methane gas is also burned out of that smokestack over there. And the reason they do that is because they can't just release the methane gas into the air because it's not good for the atmosphere.
Alright, we found a nice warm spot here at the landfill, and we're in the Ingenco power plant at the landfill, and you saw Dave outside earlier showing you the big flare, the big flame out there. That means that they're not producing electricity. But down here in the command center, if they were producing electricity, these computers would be showing all the data that is being produced by the engines that you see in just a second here. And you can see over here on this computer, this is my favorite one. This has got the picture of the flare here, and it shows how much volume of gas it's burning right now, and it's burning almost 1,000 cubic meters of gas, and that is a whole lot. We'll explain exactly how much that is in just a second.
Here we are in the inside. Here we have 12 diesel engines, okay, just like car engines, just really big engines. And out of trash, it's going to give energy to about 3,000 houses.
We've seen how the landfill tries to protect the environment. Now let's find out how you can protect the environment.
There are some things that they do not want you putting in your trash can. Batteries are one of them. This one's from a cordless drill. We've got car batteries. We've got batteries for remote controls and stuff like that. These have chemicals and stuff like that in them that require these to be disposed of in a different way. So do not put these in your trash can. Bring them to the facility so they can take care of them the correct way.
So do your parents change their own oil in their vehicle? Well, if they do, they can recycle that oil and bring it here to the landfill. This is where you're going to put in your oil. It goes in, it gets filtered to make sure it doesn't have any debris in it, and then this oil is shipped out to be recycled.
And if you've been painting your house or something, don't just dump the paint down the drain. You need to bring your oil-based paints here, and if you have latex paints, just let them harden up and then you can throw them in the trash.
Alright, if you don't have curbside recycling set up at your house, our friends here at CVWMA have provided a space for you here at the landfill in the public use area. If you come around the corner here, you can put all your stuff in here. Single stream, we've learned in our recycling podcast. So you can put your bottles, cardboard, paper, everything that can be recycled and turned into new products can be dumped here. Thanks, Nancy.
And don't forget to recycle your newspapers and magazines. One thing that I found interesting is that when you bring the newspaper and just dump it in the trash and it goes to the landfill, it actually takes about 20 years to decompose. So make sure you recycle it.
And look, boys and girls, there's even some workbooks right here.
So we're outside of the public use area now. The public use area is over here to my left. And now we're in an area where Henrico County residents can bring their trash, their household trash, or really large loads of trash. Big Dave and I tore apart my deck, so we brought it here.
And most of the stuff that's in here deserves to be in here. But in a second, we're going to take a closer look, because a lot of this could be recycled. Things like plastic water bottles, things like paper and cardboard. That would take a lot less room up in the landfill and save that room for things that really belong there. Don't forget, recycle.
You know the 3 R's, reduce, recycle, and reuse? Well, we've been talking a lot about recycling, but over here on this part of the landfill area is where we can find things to reuse. So not everything has to be dumped, because other people, your trash may be somebody else's treasure. So here's a nice bite for somebody over here. You want to get big muscles like Big Dave, you got to work out. So here's somebody can get do a little bit of exercises. And then over here, a nice old-fashioned TV with a built-in VCR. You don't need one of those flat screens. This will be just fine.
We hope you enjoyed our visit to the Henrico landfill. We hope you learned a whole lot about how trash, well, could be useful, especially in the making of electricity.
We've learned 3 really important things here. The first one is cover your loads. If you're driving around the street and bringing stuff to the landfill, make sure that you keep that load covered, because it costs a lot of money to pay people to pick up the litter off our streets. If you see litter on your streets, pick it up and dispose of it properly. Next thing that we learned, recycle. We don't want to fill the landfill with stuff that we can be reusing and turned into new products. And the third thing we've learned is don't buy more than you need. There's no point in buying more, because it just ends up here taking up space.
And be sure to check out virginiatrekkers.com for more podcasts. Keep on trekking.
Keep trekking.
See the bald eagle in the tree? Hey, first graders, check it out. A bald eagle. I think this is the second time during a podcast that we've seen it. Check out the Shirley plantation where we saw a bald eagle as well.
That's a big bird. You know, you really learn a lot about somebody. We would think that Dave was a big tough guy, but he's a real big baby when it comes to this cold weather.
That's right, I hate the cold, and if this camera is shaking all through this podcast, it's because of me.
Not only do they have fun recycling and taking care of our trash, but it's Winterfest 2011, and that's going to be a blast.